What up, everyone? This is Mr. Lord, Dr. Professor, Dark Joker, with another edition of Where, Pick, and Dare, where I pick games for the various games that are occurring tomorrow. Whether it's football, baseball, basketball, basically whatever games I want to pick, I will pick them. With all that being said, on with the video. MLB, Houston Astros versus Milwaukee Brewers. So the Astros have a 53.4% chance to win, and the Brewers have a 46.6% chance to win. This is at Milwaukee. For pitchers, Valdez for the Astros has an ERA of 4.39, the WHIP of 1.27, and Priester for the Brewers has an ERA of 5.79, the WHIP of 1.76. So while neither one has like a ERA you want to have for a pitcher, the Astros do have the advantage there by like a little over 1 in ERA. Despite the home field advantage the Brewers have, I think the pitching advantage will give the Astros the win tomorrow. New York Yankees versus San Diego Padres. So the Padres have a 32.6% chance to win. The Yankees have a 67.4% chance to win. This is at New York. For pitchers, Cease for the Padres has a 5.61 ERA and a WHIP of 1.6, and Fried for the Yankees has an ERA of 1.01, the WHIP of 0.94. So that's a very good pitching out of Fried, not so great out of Cease. So definite pitching advantage for the Yankees. And so with that and the home field advantage, I think the Yankees will beat the Padres tomorrow. Chicago Cubs versus San Francisco Giants. So the Giants have a 39% chance to win, and the Cubs have a 61% chance to win. This is at Chicago. For pitchers, Ray for the Giants has an ERA of 3.05 and a WHIP of 1.25. And Brown for the Cubs has an ERA of 4.88 and a WHIP of 1.66. So, decent pitching for Ray, not necessarily so great for Brown, with it being close to 5. So yeah, I think despite the home field advantage that the Cubs have, I think the Giants, with their pitching advantage, will beat the Cubs tomorrow. New York Mets versus Arizona Diamondbacks. So the Diamondbacks have a 52.1% chance to win, and the Mets have a 47.9% chance to win. This is at Arizona. And for pitchers, Senga for the Mets has an ERA of 1.38 and a WHIP of 1.16. And Kelly for the Diamondbacks has an ERA of 4.06 and a WHIP of 1.06. So, definite pitching advantage for the Mets. And I think despite the home field advantage that the Diamondbacks have, I think with the pitching advantage, I think the Mets beat the Diamondbacks tomorrow. Seattle Mariners versus Oakland Athletics. So the Mariners have a 65.2% chance to win, and the A's have a 34.8% chance to win. This is at Oakland. For pitchers, Wu for the Mariners has an ERA of 2.58 and a WHIP of 0.83. And Hoglund for the A's has an ERA of 1.5 and a WHIP of 1. So, both, it's good pitching for both pitchers, but the advantage is in the favor of the A's. You know, despite despite the low sample size, Wu's pitched in more innings than Hoglund has. So you could say, which from an experience standpoint, the Wu may have an advantage in experience this season, but with the numbers that seen out Hoglund, I'm gonna give the pitching advantage to the A's. And so with that and the home field advantage, I think the Oakland A's will beat the Mariners tomorrow. NBA, New York Knicks versus Boston Celtics, Game 2. So, the Knicks are up 1-0 in the series, and they have a 41.2% chance to win this game. And the Celtics have a 58.8% chance to win. This is at Boston, so New York had a pretty big upset last week. You know, very impressive win. I mean, no one was expecting that to happen. Like, I don't even know if too many people on the Knicks expected that to happen. But they played very well. I mean, that was a great game for them. But with it being at Boston, it's not something you can bank. That kind of comeback, that kind of upset, is not something you can bank on every time. So I think with the home field advantage, I think the Celtics beat the Knicks tomorrow to tie the series at 1-1. Denver Nuggets versus Oklahoma City Thunder, game two. So Denver is up 1-0 in the series, and they have a 33.4% chance to win. And the Thunder has a 66.6% chance to win. This is at OKC. So Denver also had a big upset last week, last game, and winning at OKC, the number one seed in the West. You know, despite Denver basically not having the coach, that's pretty impressive. That's really good for them. So yeah, I mean, clearly the new coach is doing pretty well. I mean, to make it this far in the playoffs, despite basically being coming in right at the end, becoming head coach right at the end. I mean, that is impressive. But it's at OKC. You can't expect a lot of these upsets to happen all the time. So I think the Thunder beats the Nuggets to tie the series at 1-0. And that's it for picks. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to my picks. Do you agree with them? Do you not? If you have different picks, you can put them in the comments. But other than that, please like, subscribe, and all that. Thank you for listening, and look forward to the next video.